Rise and Shine, and we're beaming live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria, of course, and Rise and Shine. We talk about Nigeria, a country. The very serious conversations are available across all sectors. This morning, there are two big stories making the rounds, and we want to break it down with civil society. Of course, they are like the fourth eye after the, what would I call it, the media now, trying to speak on behalf of the people and for the people also in certain quarters. We have joining us this morning, Twikon Franklin, who is the director for CRAN, I beg your pardon, Akwa Ibom State chapter. Now, what are the issues we're looking at? We just established over 30 billion naira said to be recovered from the fraud allegations against Betta Edu, and also the route of quick impeachment of Philip Schreiber as Deputy Governor of Edo State, and immediately within hours, a new deputy was already put in place. What are the constitutional backings for this kind of quick succession? Good morning, Director. Good to have you on the show this morning.
My pleasure always.
Good morning.
Good morning, Director, sir.
It looks like a lot is happening in the country. The pot is boiling quickly.
The drama is unfolding.
Hey.
Too many dramas.
Too many. And if I would add there just a little bit, I think I'll quickly pick your mind. PDP is fighting. They're saying, they want to defect from their party, go to other parties. Labour Party is also on fire. Who do you think is stoking this fire under these two parties?
Well, I think politics has become a way of life for Nigerians. Like I have always said, after elections, it should be governance. But what we are seeing lately is after elections, election begins again. So politicians are just there to politic round the clock. The moment the election, finished, the result is announced, party flags are supposed to be flown half-mast. So the governors will not take the way. What you see in River State, you see the politicking happening. You go to Edo State, you see the heavy politicking. Now you've entered Cross River, you've seen the governor coming out to say the other governor left empty treasury, and then that one will react. And then you will go to the political party themselves. You will hear the Labour Party is saying this is not the chairman, and the court will say this, and the chairman will be arrested. And you see Labour, the NLC will say the party belongs to us. At the end of the day, where do you leave the governance? That is the point. You see insecurity, you will see hunger, you will see a lot of things. I just saw your headline about Betta Edu. Betta Edu, I do not like media trial. What I seem to see more about Efcc handling of investigation is media trial. Why don't you do your investigations, conclude this? If the person is found guilty, found wanting, no, not guilty, found wanting, the person should be arraigned in court for the person to not defend himself. It's only the court that will not come and say this person is guilty. But what we seem to see is, speculations. Media will be carrying report. This is what was recovered. This is what was said. At the end of the day, the person will not even be arraigned in court. It will end within the media realm as speculations. So what I would have thought would have been, in an ideal situation, when EFCC is done with their investigation, they should arraign Betta Edu if she is found wanting of those allegations in court. Then there she will not have a field day to defend herself. At the end of the day, when the court now found her wanting, she will not be convicted, and then the penalty will be served on her. That's what I would think should be done in an ideal, case where you have the rule of law. But where you have EFCC, and if you read most of this report, you will see those who are putting it out are anonymous. Nobody is actually being quoted. You cannot even quote EFCC as the source of such speculations. You can't even quote anybody. But those figures might have come out from the trials. So you know that an insider from EFCC must have looked at those reports. And those reports, the way the media will carry it, you will see, and you look as if they are factual. That is the point. I saw when the former governor of Anambra State was arrested by EFCC, and he was kept in the detention room and was drinking bottled water with a shot. He wore short knicker, and the thing was trending, and it was inside EFCC custody, and it was trending. The question is, who took the picture? So we should try to avoid media trial. EFCC should be more disciplined and more focused than doing media trial. At the end of the day, the persons who are even being tried not even be convicted. That's what I think should be done.
Okay, so it looks like you've even already given rest to the Betta Edu conversation.
That's my point. The figures that are being chunked out at the end of the day might end up not being fact. Because nobody is quoted. The media should be, fished on fact. You should have a source of your reportage. You don't just report from the blues. Those who chalk out those figures, how factual are they? And why don't you put your name to it? If they are facts.
And also, why don't you put names to it? Like to the 50 account that they mentioned.
That's it.
Why don't you also put names to that?
It. Yes, it's an issue. If their intention is to embarrass Betta Edu, their intention is to make the public aware, they should do a press briefing. They should come out and say, we have been able to recover these figures, as they used to do in the Abacha loot. You will see somebody will come out and address, like the Attorney General will come and address the country. I think we have recovered so loot from so country. And then you can now quote your source. But when you now see figures being thrown out like that from a body that is so responsible like EFCC, it begins to give questions. So I think that EFCC should be more focused and do a thorough job. So that at the end of the day, Betta Edu, if she is found wanting, she can be arraigned in court. And if the court find her wanting, she can be convicted.
Well, I'm looking at a story that was just published not too long ago. On the Daily Times newspaper, and it says EFCC Betta did not investigated for 30 billion naira. That's a contradiction to what we just talked a few minutes ago. Now, just reading through the story, I've not seen. I keep saying EFCC, I keep saying EFCC, but there is no name attached to it. And we've searched the front pages of the social media handles of the EFCC. You can't see any court spokesperson that the story is tied to. Now, like you rightly pointed out, for this story to even come out, we know sometimes the media can carry a story based on anonymity. A person is pleading not to be mentioned. But don't you think this is a clear move by the EFCC to paint the wrong picture of Betta Edu in the face of Nigerians, so that eventually, when they find something, or even if they don't find something, in the eyes of the public, Betta Edu must have already been condemned?
That is the essence of the media trial. That is why I said media trial should be, avoided. When you are assigned to do a job like EFCC, you've taken in your suspects. Whatever is happening between you and the suspect should end with you and the suspect. Except you want to address the press. You come out and say, this is what you have been able to uncover. Based on your investigation, you now tell the press. A name will not be pinned to it. They have a spokesperson. Not just EFCC. EFCC is an institution. It's an agency. You cannot quote EFCC, but you should be able to quote the spokesperson of EFCC or even the chairman of EFCC, who is the image maker of the body. But in this case, you will just see EFCC said they have recovered 300 billion. And then like you read now, they will say they are not yet, So you keep on getting the media confused, and the media keep on choking at all this. And EFCC has its handle in the Twitter, and no such report has been found.
Yeah, and the problem also with putting out all these press statements, like in recent months, we have seen Nigerians really accuse the EFCC and the DSS trying to, be in the face of the media too often. Like in terms of the DSS, for instance, your information that should be secret is no longer secret. The processes and all of that. There just seems to be a lot of loudmouthedness. But let me ask you, because we were discussing just earlier on the concept of Betta Edu being used as a scapegoat of some sort, and maybe an internal wrangling. Francis was, painting a picture for us. You have come as a fellow minister among the cabinet that was put together by, President Tinubu, and you seem to be doing a lot. Are you trying to make the rest of us look bad? And all of a sudden, Betta Edu is taken out, and as she has been taken out, Otwikon, her ministry, all of the work she was doing is at a standstill. We're not hearing of all of those social safety net programs anymore.
You see, I don't think I should be justifying the alleged act that she did. If you see the entire reportage, not now, when it came out to the public, you could see that money was alleged to have been paid to people for air tickets to Kogi State. There's no airport in Kogi State. You could even see the Academy General are saying that he did not approve the fund when it was requested. And you could see so many things happened at that time. So those ones were not media trial. Those were before she was even, suspended by Mr. President. Those were what led to a suspension. So what I would have thought would have been, like I have said, Let EFCC, now that it is now carrying out findings, let them do their job. The work of the ministry can never be stand still because the government keep moving. They have already, somebody is now overseeing the ministry, and the ministry is going on, is working. But the ministry might not be in the news as it used to be when she was there, because she was more like a media person. She would be addressing the media all the time and be talking loud and loud. But the person who is now overseeing the ministry may not be doing the same thing, but the job of the ministry is still going on because you have persons there.
Yeah.
You have the civil servant, you have somebody who is now overseeing the ministry. After all, the job of the minister is just more like an advisory role. You have the bulk of the civil servant, the PAMSEC is there, the directors are there, and all other staff. So they are still working. But the media may not have much to report because what she was doing was she would just go, for example, she would go to the northeast, meet with the women. Being a female, she moved to the women, and the women will come around her, and then she will speak to the press. She moves to where you have issues of humanitarian services. She will go there herself, and then you will see the press.
So there's a possibility that the work is still ongoing.
Sure, government cannot slow down because of her. Government must move. The president must succeed. If the ministry had a budget that is running, somebody must oversee the activities of the ministry.
But don't you think that what Betta was doing was bringing her more closer to the people, and people were able to relate with her activities as the humanitarian minister while she was in office?
One, you must add the youthful strength that she has. If you watch her growth, her ascendancy from Cross River State when she was the commissioner for health. And then she grew to to APC, I think woman leader.
Woman leader, yes.
And then she now became the minister. You could see that she was always in the news. When that COVID-19 period, when we had issue of no COVID in Cross River State, she was always talking, defending, coming out to justify why there's no COVID in Cross River State. So she's a media-friendly person. That is given to her. That is why you might have seen all those propaganda, if you want to say, and then you must have seen all those reports that you could see in the media. But taking her out, now, vacuum that is there is because that youthful strength is not there. The media, the bridge between the media and the activities of the ministry is not there again. But the ministry is still working because you will expect the PAMSEC to address the press. They are always, not seen. You understand me? They are not always seen, but they are ahead. They work from the under, from the behind. While the ministers are the ones to address the press because they are the political head of the agencies. So you won't see the PAMSEC address the press or the directors address the press, but the ministry activities is going on. And the person who is now overseeing it is also overseeing another ministry too, which is his primary ministry. So you could see so many things happening. But I would have advised the president to appoint a substantive minister for that particular office. For keeping that office, blank for more than 7 months or thereabout is not fair for the activities of the ministry because a lot is going on. You can see what is happening. For example, those 287 schools that we are adopted in Kaduna.
137.
137. 137. As I said, but before now we got a figure of 280 something.
Yeah.
So you could now see that by now, those ladies, those school people would have been reached out to and find a way to to assuage their pains and talk to them, and then attend to them. Yeah. So there is need for somebody to be appointed to man the ministry.
Okay, that definitely puts to rest some of the concerns that we had raised earlier. But just to
put
the conversation to rest this morning, Philip Shaibu has been impeached by the Edo State Edo State Assembly, House of Assembly, of course, and within hours, Omoboya, his name just skips me, I didn't pronounce that right, was brought to bear as the deputy governor within hours. Now we are looking at the constitutionality of that event, not just the impeachment, because of course books of the Constitution, subsections have been named that supports the impeachment, however they came about it. But there seems to be a charade around the impeachment of Shaibu and a fanfare. The people of Edo State do not seem to be in support of what the political class is doing, but they have impeached him and a new guy is on the block. What are your permutations about the crisis in Edo State?
I just think I don't share any sympathy for Philip Shaibu. I must say this. He's a comrade. No doubt. But he did not play his political card well.
Okay.
He had issues with the governor. They came on board. He is more on ground. Let me say so. He's more on ground, like the governor, than the governor. is more people connected and people oriented than the governor. I don't know how to explain. If you had been in Cross River State, where you had John Okpa as the deputy governor to Donald Duke, then John Okpa was popular, was on ground more than the governor, and so because he's on a term axis, you have the popularity of people, and so he's also more connected to people, while Donald Duke was more of elitist in approach. That's why you see Philip Shaibu, he always put on the comrade uniform. He's always in the market, he's always on the streets, he feels a common person and the rest. So that command followership for him, that also affected the image of the governor. The governor felt he was being intimidated by his popularity and by his strength. And that is what led to their crisis, not because of anything. The allegation of misappropriation, of leaking official secrets are just flimsy.
But that's what he's been used. They've used to.
That is the point. It's flimsy. Impeachment. If the process that was followed was okay, because at least the assembly is authorized to do impeachment, to carry out impeachment when the governor or deputy governor has infringed on the constitutional provisions. Mind you that the governor took an oath of office of secrecy as well as the deputy governor. Part of the oath you will take is that you will not leak official secrets. That's what the governor and deputy governor will take. So now that is what the assembly used to, use in impeaching him, that he leaked out those secrets. Now that is a different issue. Why I said that I don't seem to pity him is that he would have resigned, knowing that his influence has overwhelmed that of his boss. And he would have looked at it and said, you have an ambition. In August, you are going for election, and you are contesting. Why don't you just quietly go away? At 4 months to go. You don't have to hold seat. The governor, your boss, is telling you, I don't work with you. There was a time he was even being locked out of office.
His office was relocated.
And the governor was like, he even withdrew his media team from him because of to stifle him, to make him, to cripple him. And because the governor doesn't support his political ambition. So it's a clear cut of a fight between the governor and the deputy governor. The assembly is only being used as a tool to smear his image and put him out of the contest. Because the governor wants somebody else for the governorship seat to replace him while he was going against the governor's wish. And so this cannot stand. That is why I said if he had played his card well, he would have long resigned and focused on his ambition, which is to be the governor, which election is coming up in August. But still holding tight to his seat and want to remain there to fight. No court of law can stop the assembly from doing their job, because you have 3 tiers of government: executive, legislature, and the judiciary. Neither of these can stop the other. But what the court will now do will be to interpret the action of each of the arm of government. Now that he has been impeached, it remains impeached. The person who was sworn in, whether it was sworn in 1 minute after he was impeached, is inconsequential. It means that the person remains deputy governor. That is what the law says. As long as the assembly has affirmed his nomination, and the governor has sworn in, and he has been sworn in by the chief judge, is the deputy governor. The rest is for the court to look at the process of how Philip Shaibu was impeached, which will linger till after election of the state. As it stands now, as someone who has been impeached, has dented his political records.
Oh, wow. So it seems like Philip Shaibu will be having a lot to grapple with. Of course, more developments will be coming out of the story, and we'll definitely be looking into it in subsequent times that we have. It's been, great looking at, I would say, very, from a separate standpoint this morning, listening to Otuekon Franklin, Director of Crime, give us different perspective to the issues that we raised this morning. Thank you so much for coming on the show.